Hello and welcome to TechnoFunda Investing channel, and today I'm going to share something very powerful with you. I recently was invited to a conference called Alpha Ideas and I presented something powerful. Just have a look. So I presented something in the lines of Jai and Viru. I'm sure you recognize this picture, which is of a very famous movie called Sholay, and it is called Sidecar Investing or a proxy investing framework. So I presented an idea where this is a proxy play of infrastructure which is being provided to AI. And we all know that all the AI is dependent upon the chips, the GPUs, and a lot of power. Now, who actually gives that power? That is one proxy play. But how that power even gets produced, there are a lot of equipments and manufacturers who are beneficiary of that. So this is one of its kind of player which is like almost like a duopoly or monopoly in this field, and there are not too many players who is competing in this front, which is what I'm going to share it with all of you. So I will be giving you my live presentation which I did, the entire recording of 20 minutes which I did in that conference around this stock idea, right from what is this entire story about, where AI is going. You will be learning about what are the kind of proxy plays in AI which you can see in India, not just in US, but in India, which all sectors are the beneficiary. And then I've really gone deep dive in terms of this company. What are the competitive advantages? What is the mega trend that is helping this company grow? What are the new improvements and traction that is happening inside this company? And as an investor, how you can benefit from this entire thing. So I've actually decoded the entire framework of sidecar investing, the Jai and Viru framework, which I was showing to you. So your intention should be to not only just learn about the analysis of this company, but also to learn the framework and how to think about such kind of sidecar investing opportunities. So let's go straight into this entire video, and I'm sure you are going to love this. Okay, so let's go in. All right, so let's straight away jump into the presentation, and I'll also be sharing the QR code during the presentation where you can actually download this entire presentation. You might be also finding the link in the description also, or in the comment section below. But make sure you not only learn about this idea, but you also decode it and you also go through the entire presentation so that you can get a lot of insights. So share the entire research reports during the session. You'll get the QR, and let's dive into this.
Our next speaker is Vivek Mashrani from TechnoFunda Ventures. You will have seen him on YouTube a lot. Please give a warm round of applause to Vivek bhai. Vivek, please.
So much for this wonderful opportunity, and yeah, thank you for being till the end. Like after lunch, and you know, the second last or last slots are the most difficult one to have the attention. Okay, so today I'm going to speak about a company, and more than a company, it is more about a framework. Again, Ishmohit was talking about frameworks, and if we can have a framework and we keep applying those frameworks in our investing journey, we can actually churn out so many ideas. So my intention would be to get that going, and at the end of this, you will be able to hopefully get some nuggets where you can see through some of the other companies in multiple other sectors which are probably just around you. Yes, so to start with, how many of you watched this movie, by the way? Sholay, right? And there is this beautiful song where Viru Paji and Mr. Amitabh Bachchan is going together on a scooter. This kind of what I call sidecar investing, right? And one of the concept today which we are going to learn is that. Can I share a quick brief introduction? Yes. So I started my journey as a engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer. I came on Akasa Air today morning, 787, 737 aircrafts. That is what I was designing when I started my journey. And then pivoted to learning MBA in capital markets, CFA charter holder, wrote 2 bestseller books, 15 years of experience in investment banking, and still a lifelong learner, right? So just like all of you, I keep learning. So that is the brief intro. I'm sure all of you have seen this a number of times. So quick disclaimer, we are SEBI Registered investment research analyst. Now, think about this. When this event happened, in United States, there was an event where somebody struck some gold and everybody was like, I want that piece of pie, I want to be wealthy. And everybody started looking for that gold. It was called gold rush. And everybody thought, hey, I'll do hard work, I'll go there, I'll mint some money, and I'll come out rich. You know what? Who made money during that gold rush, the most money during that gold rush? People who were selling shovels, picks, tent, jeans, and so on and so forth. Basically, ancillary plays around that entire industry, right? And one of the company which became very famous, one of my favorite brands still, Levi Strauss, right? So that became very well-known brand because if you want to dig during that gold rush, you need a very strong pair of jeans. Now, coming to a similar analogy, what Peter Lynch also said, that during gold rush, most would-be mixers, miners, lost money, but people who sold shovels, tents, and blue jeans, they made nice profit. Now, I'll go through a similar company, which is proxy play or a sidecar for current gold rush. And we'll come to that, what is the gold rush. But being a mechanical engineer, this is the framework I'll walk you through, where we look at, and this is a framework we use for compounding companies. So we have two parts which we do. One is core portfolio, another is satellite. So satellite is more emerging, core is more kind of compounding companies, well-known but still growing at a very decent pace. This is what I'll walk you through throughout the entire presentation. So the first part in machine is M for mega tailwinds. Any guesses what is a mega trend buzzword for today? Like what do we keep hearing around? AI, all of you took it right. How many of you, by the way, use ChatGPT or any AI tool for that matter? Please raise your hand. Most of you. How many of you have not yet started using AI? Okay, some of you are still figuring it out. That's great. Eventually, I'm sure, just like how we cannot live without MS Office, and this PPT is also on MS Office, I think we are in that kind of phase where we're just getting started on AI, and it is going to be a life norm. So this is a mega trend, and if you see, this is the 21st century gold rush. Earlier, we had an internet era. In India, we have seen multiple such decadal trends which created a lot of wealth. But if you see the major players alone, they are highly concentrated in terms of capex, which they are doing. And most of these hyperscaler in just 2025 are roughly spending $300 billion in AI infrastructure alone. And that is growing at a pace of 40%. We all know what is happening to NVIDIA, yes? Beyond imagination, quarterly growth of 56%. Crazy, right? At this size. These companies are bigger than Indian GDP, and that's growing at the same size, right? So this entire capex is basically creating a huge dwarfing of other corporate capex, at the same time benefiting companies around it. And that is what we are trying to understand, that although this capex is being done by few companies, and which is growing like rapid pace, if you see the projection, it's crazy, right? And I don't know if it will happen or not, but it's crazy if it happens. And at the same time, what Varun Bhai discussed and even Ishmoit discussed, power demand. So the new age currency, which is backing the entire AI revolution, is power. And if you see the kind of consumption which is projected, right, like now we are around 33 gigawatts, and what it is projected in next 10 years, probably it will be like 176 gigawatts. And people are worried, where this power will come, and if that power also comes, how will it get transmitted, right? That's the challenge right now which we are facing. So it's like almost 30x surge in power, unprecedented surge which we are going through. And at the same time, the servers and the kind of AI server racks which we are putting, it's like going at a crazy pace. You can already see how it is growing at an extremely fast pace. Now, having said that, even the compatibility and the kind of GPUs that are packed and the kind of kilowatt units it consumes, it's getting more and more compact, right? So you are going to see this surge like crazy. So just to summarize, we are seeing at escalating power needs, crazy, unprecedented demand, and it's a different order of magnitude for local power system to even handle. Because most of these grids and a lot of these things in Europe and US are made before decades, right? And they are not capable of actually handling the kind of surge which we are seeing right now, because nobody thought about it, that this kind of demand scenario will come in. Now, should we play on US stocks? Probably yes. Should we play on power stocks? Probably yes. But there is something else going on, right? So what is happening is, due to this GPT, the grids are not able to handle. The solar and wind takes actually time to transmit, because even for them, the grids are not very, very stable right now to handle their supply also. And the only short-term plug is more like using gas and natural gas and a lot of gas-related proxies, right? And also people are actually, because again, what Ishmohit said, right? It cannot go offline. You need to have uninterrupted power to make this giant beast running 24/7. So many people, what they are doing, or the companies, what they are doing, is they are actually buying some of these gas units and putting it right where they need in terms of the electricity supply. And that is where the gas-based turbine captive power plants are of major demand right now. So what's happening basically on demand supply, let me just simplify. We don't want to complicate things because investing is actually simple. So what's basically happening is, in the timeline in which data center needs this kind of supply, this kind of supply, only majority of it can be produced by gas turbines and some bit of it through solar and wind. But there are not any other supplies which will go on steam at least till 27, 28, 30s. So next 3 to 4 years, there is no other major alternative. Okay? So that's where we are heading. Now, a lot of big companies, because of this demand, what they are doing is they are actually starting to order some crazy gas turbines, right? So you can see, like recently, OpenAI actually got its first target site gas turbine. This is the picture, they just ordered it, right? And each of these turbine actually generates around, in total, 986 megawatt, which is enough power for approximately like 5 lakh chips. And the way we know the chip production is going, it's again crazy. So who are the beneficiary? Who supplies these gas turbines? So as an investor, that should be the next question. Yes, ki kaun bana raha hai isko? Where is the money, right? Where is the trail? Now there are few major players in this, and it's a very highly sophisticated skill which requires, like just like in world there are only 2 jet engine producers for aircraft. Even for gas turbines, you need a very sophisticated skills to give the technology as well as produce at scale. So these are mainly 3 players actually who are doing the work, and remaining others are just 30% of the industry. So Mitsubishi, Siemens, and GE Vernova, and this is US-based entity, not the Indian T&D entity, that they do slightly different things, but this is the play. And that account for more than like 70% of the capacity. Now we probably cannot play this, right? Because most of them are not listed, and again they are doing some simultaneously other things. So what to do? So the play, which will come to the next slide, is basically focusing on the gas turbine demand, and you can already see the demand. And one of the company which is a hidden beneficiary, which supplies to all these major players, and one of the major player in the world who is independently supplying parts to these gas turbines, is TD Power, right? So if these guys are making full turbines, TD Powers is making the heart of it, right? The generators in these kind of gas turbines. So it is a kind of indirect AI proxy, And best part is they have different variants where they can supply to even smaller players all the way to larger players. So it's like more of build to spec machines, and across different wattages they actually can supply to their customers. So that is the journey, and it is more like infra for AI, kind of like, just like how we had a buzzword SaaS services. So you can think about like infra for AI kind of service, which TD Power is actually pointing out. Now, of course, people know about it. There is unprecedented growth about it. It's already started firing. But many times, when these exponentially high growth mega trend comes around us, we kind of underestimate their growth and valuation, right? Because if you think about CDSL, when it got listed, it was some 200 rupees. That time we had roughly 3 to 4 crores demat accounts, and now we have 16 crore demat accounts. It went after split, if you consider, it's like almost 10x from there also, 10 to 12x in just last 5 years. Now, was CDSL a unknown company that time? Answer is no. We have seen a lot of transformer companies which multiplied, which were known companies, which were richly valued. And I'm not saying this is cheap company, but richly valued. But still, if the trend keeps on going, if the growth keeps on coming, then this can keep compounding even further. And that is where, of course, you need to have an exit system where if growth doesn't come, there is some black swan event, you might even need to exit. And that is why I also blend technicals for exit system. So it's making all-time high. It just came out with results, 46% growth, if I remember correctly, quarter on quarter, which it registered on the PAT side. Now, what is so special about TD Power? Why even TD Power is the main player? Think about it. So what are the competitive advantages, right? So first, it is having that spec where it can actually produce multiple variants, and it's a combination of what we see in the IT industry. So what are the key advantages we had in our IT services as India? Think about it. We had cheap labor, and then we had global competitiveness. Same thing is happening here. So one of the lowest cost manufacturer plus global competitiveness, and they have a license and the entire patent of making that from a Japanese company. So they have a know-how, they have a manufacturing hub in India, in Bangalore, and they are able to supply at a low cost with very high precision. Okay, so they will go deeper into it. Why? And it is one of the only largest non-OEM supplier. Others are all big giants like Siemens and GE and Mitsubishi and likes of that. So first, as I said, deep engineering capability. Second is they have long-term relationship. And just like how we had our colleague presented on SJS, that it is not easy to just get the approval from some of these biggest of the biggest giants in the industry, right? You need a long cycle where they will test it rigorously, they will approve it. So there is a cycle of quite a few months. Even if a new player comes in, they need to get all the approvals in place. And it's a very high switching cost, because even if somewhere it goes wrong, by chance you shifted to other players and something went wrong, these processes can cost millions, literally millions, because it's a very critical component which they get. And as I said, European quality with the Indian cost. That is what is the superpower for this company, right? And you can see the management commentary. They are actually, if you read the last con call, they say we are seeing unprecedented demand in turbine. There is no dearth of order. We are going live with capacity, and these are some of the other quotation, right? Great opportunity for us to take even market share, because we have first class new capacity which is coming on speed. It is at time to take market share from other players. They are not just growing organically, but they are also taking market share. Of course, these are very strong moat companies. Over a period of time, they've got stronger. So high return ratios, extremely good margins, and a debt-free company. And overall, if you see the fixed asset turnover, crazy kind of turnover they do. So these are some of the advantages of the companies as well. And what they are improving, right? So they also hit a ceiling where the tariff came in. Fortunately, they had a Turkey plant, and most of the US demand actually right now they are supplying through Turkey. So they are not actually getting impacted. And they are opening a new capacity, which is going to come live very soon. in Bangalore, which is going to be commissioned in Q3 FY26, which is one of the trigger where they will be able to grow further because there is no dearth of demand. There is big order book which they have. So that is where they are going to increase the capacity. And what is new, right? So they are actually developing new line of these generators. They are opening new design centers so that they can independently create their own patents. And they are also very aggressively moving into other segment, which is a motor segment. You can study about it. I'm not going deep into it, but that's also a prominent growth engine, which is there in this company. And finally, the management has an excellent track record. Although it's a promoter-driven company, but slowly they are migrating towards a professionally management kind of company. And they have an order book of 1,500 crores, which is already lined up, which is aggressively increasing. So if you see their last con call, which came few days back, you will see that they are actually seeing more and more surge in the order which they are getting. So there is no dearth of work, basically. They just need to execute. And last 4 years, they delivered 40% CAGR. And even for next 3 years, they are projecting this kind of growth. So although if you see the PE multiple on a TTM basis, it might look slightly higher. But if they deliver on growth, and that is the key, if they deliver on growth, and if this kind of growth continues in the AI capex, they can still further grow their profitability going further as well. What is the antithesis? DeepSeek moment. How many of you remember DeepSeek? One day when DeepSeek news came, everything went crashing down. Pretty much can happen because all the high growth stock, we need to remember that if it disappoints market, there could be a big fall that can come. So we need a very strong exit system. So any hype on AI fizzles out, if there is any faster integration of a renewable grid where other alternate sources apart from gas turbine picks up, then also it can slow down the growth. Any kind of alternative in the battery storage system that comes in, any regulatory or environmental pushback that can, of course, deteriorate this. It's a working capital intensive business. There is customer concentration, trade and geopolitical risk, Trump risk basically, and currency and input risk just like any other export related companies are having. So the key takeaways are very simple. It's a proxy of AI to play. It's a picks and shovel play. Very high operating leverage company which is in B2B doing like a 20-25% plus ROC, crazy with this kind of margin. And it's like broadly following the infrastructure curve, and there are a lot of optionalities which you can study later, but there are a lot of other segments where they are also creating optionalities. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much for patiently listening. Keep compounding and keep growing. Thank you so much.
We got our friends from the Gulf also here. Devashish Nogi from Dubai, Prasad sir from Kuwait, please.
Awesome. So hope you enjoyed this last 20 minutes presentation and deep dive. It was mind-blowing the way the entire space is moving and the way this company is growing. So let me know in the comment section, how did you feel about this presentation and what were your top takeaways from this video? And also let me know which company next you are analyzing on AI and in this particular sector. And if anything interesting you like and you want me to present, please type in the comment section and I would love to research and share it with all of you. Thank you so much again. Keep compounding and make sure you keep learning in your investing journey. Thank you so much.